All right, everybody, coming to you live from the Dillon, Montana airport. Is that right, K-Pro?
Does Dillon, Montana have an airport, Mike?
I haven't been there, so I don't know. Coming to you live. K-Pro is at the airport, about to fly back. Big boots on the ground trip.
Yeah.
Dillon, Montana, and the Searcher meetup. So we're going to talk about JCB. We might have Michael O'Connell joining us to talk about his treasure hunt and the find. But first, talk about the recap of the Searcher meetup and what went on in Dillon. Hey, bro.
Well, Samantha and I, Sam, I'm going to hand over to you. Samantha and I, we started out, we flew into Bozeman, started out at the only, what do they call it? The thing that Randy does, the sundials. Only one in Montana is up in Great Falls. So we went and checked that out, the three-legged bear, the whole River's Edge River. Spent about a half day there. Then we headed down to Helena. Didn't spend more than a half day there. And then we did the loop. And the loop was, we did Wisdom, we did Jackson, we did Polaris, we did Dillon. We spent an extra day in Dillon. The second day, the sun's killing me. The second day, we decided to do a Searcher meetup. Before the meetup even began, I can't see you guys in chat, about a half an hour beforehand, we told them we'd have about 10, maybe 15. That turned into 20, 20 turned into 25, that turned into 30. At 40, they're like, we can't do this. We can't have, there was a big baseball game. So we moved over to a different place and basically took over. They loved us. We had a little over 50 people, which was insane. It was great. We had one more day, which was yesterday. We backtracked. We went to, I don't have all the areas memorized yet. We went up and tried to get to Comet Creek. It did start to get very snowy. I was able to meet with some rangers, some interpretive persons, etc. We have had, I'm putting together a video, but we have some wild stories. Arrests are being made at this point. You guys are just being, some of you, if you're watching, don't take the sign that you think the checkpoint is and put it in your room and think that they're not going to like make you return a street sign or trail sign. I don't care if you think it's the checkpoint and you have to literally demount it. I mean, no, it's not my
stuff that they think the checkpoint.
Yeah, so somebody came into our hotel with a very large, over 3 foot. The lady didn't know if it was a street sign or tail sign, and he's like, trail sign. And he was like, yeah, I got the checkpoint. No one's going to find it but me. And they're like, you can't do that. There's people that are going past the closed gates. There's another group that's going on private property. The ranger told me we've warned them 3 times. We're trying to be nice.
Pretty much.
But they're getting ready to arrest them. Somebody did get stuck in the snow. They did have to helicopter them out. So they're...
Let me just throw a question in here. Does anybody else think that maybe, just maybe, Justin's smart enough that the checkpoint isn't something you can destroy or take with you? Maybe.
How can Justin check back with? No, Justin wouldn't want any. It's the dumbest thing ever. Now, here's the question that I got, and I have been debating this, and I finally asked Justin, and I'm waiting on a response. I just emailed him maybe an hour ago. So I said, yeah, I'm going to try to get up to Comet Mountain because that's one of the pictures not in the ebook, or was in the ebook and not in the hard copy book. And they're like, but that's within a mile of the Fitzwater property. And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to know that? I don't know if that's true or not because I'm not looking up his personal information. And someone said, well, I know the property, so I could put a map and circle it and say, don't go to this area. You are searching closer to Justin's family's property than you realize. How are we supposed to know that?
Yeah, it's only if you research it, really. Yeah.
Right. So if you're in we were in Polaris, and then we went up to Elkhorn Lodge, which he's the one that told me about. He's the one that said the bus, and I have pictures of it. I went and took pictures. The bus that are in the restaurant were his grandfather's. I didn't know that area was within a mile of his grandfather's place. So does that mean inadvertently? I mean, how do we get that information without personally overstepping so then we can make sure that we're not in an area that has literally already been ruled out?
I would just say just let the clues take you to where you're going. But you're right. If it is within a mile, then you know it's wrong.
So if the clues take me to Nebraska, I should go to Nebraska.
I found the checkpoint. It's a website. You shut your mouth, Tyler, unless you have proof. But he did give us.
Are you listening?
Yeah, I heard you. Well, Nebraska's not in the American West, is it?
So he gave, of course not, but he gave several parameters. He said not. Okay. Well, okay.
I mean, yeah, we know you're trolling, Tyler. That's why I said shut your mouth. We don't really want people to post the addresses publicly so that we all know to stay a mile away, do we?
Well, and that's what I asked Justin. I said, I'm in a hard spot because some people want to post at least the circle area of where not to go. I've told people they can't do that, at least on our Discord.
Right.
But I said, it's a really hard situation because I was literally talking to someone that said, you're near Comet Mountain, like, because they knew where I was. And they're like, that's within a mile. I didn't know if it was I knew his grandfather had a place in 100-mile radius. I didn't know it was a mile or two, and I don't even know if they're right. So anyway, that was the tough one. So I have videos we went to Elkhorn Hot Springs. We did as much of the scenic byway that it allowed us. We went to Wisdom. We went to Jackson. Oh, the guy that owns the Jackson Antique Store, he was the dentist. And on the side, he made American dolls for Forrest Fenn from the Forrest Fenn doll collection that he did a book over. He knew Forrest.
Everybody knows Forrest. Okay, so we're not sure if Michael's going to join. There's been a little bit of controversy, everybody. Oh, wrong one. So one of the treasures, but not the main treasure, has been found for Lady Liberty. Do I have that right? This is Michael O'Connell's treasure hunt, Lady Liberty. And what you guys should do is this is our interview we did with Michael O'Connell back in 4 months ago. So rewatch it because I think I asked him about the treasure and where it is, how many, and he just kind of said you have to read the book. His whole thing has been, well, you have to read the book. It's in the book. So I know some people are like, wait, we thought there were 2 treasures, and now somebody found what Michael called a bonus treasure. You recap it, K-Pro, if I got it wrong.
Yeah, here's how I'm seeing it. And many of you have DM'd me. Michael has been commenting, but it's been a little cryptic. I think he is so good when you hear him because you can hear his passion and you can hear him explain things. So I hope he does. But here's how I understand it. Michael said basically there was a larger Lady Liberty treasure that's around 100,000. And then one of the smaller one, which is Riley's, which is around 50K. In the book, because people have sent it, I didn't have it on me, but it says there are other treasures, and if you find them, they're within 50 to 100 yards of the blaze or something like that. And it was a little cryptic, so I wasn't sure if that was Lady Liberty's or what. So basically, the first person went out and they found what looks like a treasure that's worth around 4,000 to 5,000. It might be a little bit more, but it's.
Let me show a picture of it because if I flew into do we know what state this was? It's the Eric Sloan Museum, wherever that is. Connecticut. If I flew into Connecticut and I found this, I would be happy. I mean, let me show you guys what this treasure is. Now, it's not the $100,000 treasure. I get it. You might be a little disappointed in that respect. So this was supposed to be a representation of Eric Sloan's bell, and it was hidden, I think, within a mile of the Eric Sloan Museum. Okay. Sorry, I thought you joined. So check it out. I mean, this. From what I can tell, these are actually, I think, now again, I don't know the inventory, but are these Morgan dollars? Are these gold coins? I mean, this is an awesome treasure to find. There's some jewelry.
Yeah, and I think this is where we say setting expectations. So let me be honest with you, Mike. Right. You and I, JCB's hunt. He has said there's $100,000 around. We get there and there's that treasure. And let's say that treasure's worth 5. And let's say we've gone boots on the ground 20 times. We're driving or flying in each time. We have $20,000 in costs. A few of the people that have been working on it that is messaging me is saying I do have to leverage. If it's a $100 hunt and I spend $10,000 traveling to it or vice versa, I should at least know what the prize is. And if the prize is a puzzle in itself that he doesn't want to say, there is 2 pictures up on Jenny's website of 2 treasure boxes. And he has used the term 100,000 or 50,000. So what the people that have been asking me is it a hunt of 100,000? And like John's, there's 20 different hunts that are $5,000 each, or is it one hunt that is 100,000? Or might be some bonus stuff, but that's not. And I think that most people that I'm talking to, and there's probably 5 or 10 that have reached out privately to me to say, this isn't what we think you heard on your show and you misrepresented. I'm like, wait.
Well,
Let's get some additional information.
That's why I posted the interview we did with him, because we talked to him and you could see exactly what he said in that interview. So rewatch it, especially if you're going boots on the ground for this. Rewatch it, see what he said. But what I want to know is, in both books, there's a list of the exact same treasure items. Okay. And what I want to know is, so if somebody who's smart and wants to do the research, all these coins, can we mark off that list? In other words, was this extra or is this part of that big
Right.
list?
That's what some people are asking.
Yeah,
right.
Would be a good
Like
point.
at the end of the day, so right now, the main question I've gotten is Lady Liberty $100,000 hunt? There's a couple of other extra added, or is it $25,000 hunts?
Right.
Or somewhere in between, because that is very different. And I do personally, I do believe, especially with smaller hunts, I'm okay with smaller hunts, but you do have to leverage the amount of resources you put in. Look at 3D Bronze that came to, I mean, he said the chest for the invitation cost him more than not. Now, it also says, because someone sent me the part of the book that Michael says, if you ask me, I'm a pirate, I'm just going to flat out lie to you. And some people didn't think they were taking him seriously with that. He put it in the book. He's going to lie to you. Whether it makes legal trouble or not, that's on him to figure out. But he's also said maybe there's not $100,000 out. I don't know which it is. I just want to give him the opportunity to talk it through, because he does have some goal, and he is telling people just buy the book and it'll clarify in there. People don't want to buy the book until they know what it is.
Well,
and I do think it's fair, but I also think it's fair for Michael to do what he wants. If he wants to run it that way, he can run it that way. But I just want to make sure his voice is heard on what is happening right
now. I'll just say that Mike's a good guy. So anybody thinks he's scamming people, he's not. It's his treasure hunt. He did it a certain way. He says he's a pirate. You're trying to steal his booty. He's going to misdirect you. He's having fun with it. But I do believe everything that's listed in those two books is out there. What we see now is it is possible there's the smaller treasures. Does that take away from the main treasure? It very well might be. But for me, I mean, I would be disappointed I didn't find it, but I would, you know how many boots on the ground people go and come up empty-handed, but I would be very happy that I found that treasure. So I see it both ways.
So if you were going for Justin's hunt,
all right,
and you arrived at the spot that you had spent money, and you had in your mind that big treasure booty,
right,
and you found $5,000, would you be excited, Mike? I mean, be honest. I like Michael too, but be honest.
But the thing
I just spent $5,000 flying out here and doing all of this. Come on, let's be a little honest about.
I guess it all depends what it says in the book. I mean, Justin has spelled out exactly what's in his treasure on the website.
Right.
So yes. Oh, and here's Michael now. So
perfect.
Well, it was him. You need you got to connect. I don't know if you're watching, Mike. You got to connect your microphone and webcam through StreamYard. I can't add him until he connects it. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. It would be both. It'd be like, I found something, but I didn't find what I was looking for. So what's going on? So
well, like JCB has said, there's red herrings. It's the equivalent of I can lie to you as pirate. Again, okay, now I'm going to be very clear. I don't think Michael is scamming anyone. I think he has a vision. I think he's a kind soul. Yeah. Perfect timing.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello. Sorry. I got a funny.
You're good. You're good. The pirate himself. Here he is.
Yeah, how are you?
Hey.
It's been a long work day. I got some Discord people. I got one guy who's really happy. He's been like treasure hunting all over the place.
Well, and, Mike, before we get into it, are you happy that the bell's been found? Are you happy that one of the treasures has been found? However many.
I'm happy for the searcher, but there's
that's
it's sort of hard to explain. Like I'm not disappointed that it was found.
Okay.
I'm disappointed with some of the responses because just to be candid, I don't think I've sold 150 books. So there's no way all these people that are complaining even bought an ebook. So I'm like, if you didn't read the book, how can you complain? Like, I'm just confused by it. Like, for example, when you guys did your treasure hunt, I told you directly, I have no intention of going to Las Vegas, but I bought your treasure book immediately.
Right.
To support you.
We bought yours. Exactly.
And when you did the coins, I bought the coins. And when you did the maps, I bought the maps. And when you sold big maps, I did that. I just being supportive. And it's not that I'm like a wealthy guy. I got 4 kids and I'm a police officer. Like, not walking on gold over here. So I just a little startled and confused, but Forrest did warn me, and I probably should have listened to him more closely because he gave me permission, and he said he took a lot of pushback from searchers, and I don't think I understood it till today.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'll play devil's advocate for the community, some of the people that are complaining. If somebody reads Riley's Treasure Quest, somebody reads the Riley book, should they have known that there's kind of multiple treasures and not just one by reading the book, do you think, or did you want that to be a surprise for people?
Okay, so do you want to go to the parameters and then
however you want to do it? Yeah, we just give you a platform to talk about it. However you want.
Yeah, so what I would say is, first of all, the Riley's treasure chest has exactly one treasure.
Oh, okay.
And for all you adults in the room, that's for youth under 18. So
Right.
if you're not a youth under 18, or you're not a parent taking your kid or a nephew or a grandchild or something, you're out of luck. That's not your treasure hunt. You're not even supposed to be going for that treasure. So
Right. Gotcha.
that's just in Massachusetts. So there should be no confusion. There's one Riley's treasure, and it's on the back of the book, and
Right.
there's only one of them. It's in Massachusetts.
There you go.
And it's for youth under 18. So it's not for adults. You're not supposed to take their treasure. So if you want to read the book because it's a good book about history, or if you want to just enjoy either book without treasure hunting, that's okay too. But it's not intended to be like your tool for the treasure. That's not your tool. Yeah, is it helpful? Maybe you understand the way I think, or the way I wrote, or what I wrote after I wrote the Liberty book, because we all know I wrote the Liberty book before the Riley book, right? So we all know that the Liberty book was released a day before the Riley book. I don't know if it says that, but that's the way it was done, because it's a little bit slow when you download it. So there's only one treasure for Riley, and that's on the back of the book.
All right, let's talk about Lady Liberty, which is, I guess, the bell that was found, the Eric Sloan bell, right?
The Lady Liberty's treasure hunt, as I said multiple times, all 9 states are in play, right? And I also, I was emphatic about it, and I said multiple times, it's a journey of discovery by the searchers, right? So you have to actually read the book, follow the hints, and go to the book. So, and just to be fair to you, Cowlazars, when last time we spoke in K-Pro, you guys were getting ready for the conference, and your hair was on fire. You were really, really busy, and you were polite and squeezed me in because I couldn't go to the conference, and we did a thing. But I got the impression you hadn't read my books. So when you were asking me questions, they weren't like your usual questions that are like right on, because you were like fast forwarding it, and you were being nice to me, and we were only supposed to talk for like 20 minutes, and you end up talking to me for like an hour because you're just so nice, and you were so cool, and it was so wonderful. But I didn't actually think I would even get to talk to you that long. So the interview wasn't 100% like what was really in the books.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't my job to tell people what to look for in the books. The people are supposed to read the books, interpret the books, make their decisions, and tour if they're capable. Now, if you live on the other side of the country, I would definitely go for Justin Posey's treasure. 1, it's bigger than mine. 2, it's one chest. And he's a great guy, and it's easier for you because you live on that side of the country.
Right.
Now, I don't know about going to Alaska. I'd be very, very careful about that. But because, there's big bears and there's polar bears, and I would be very careful about that. And I'm not putting down Alaska, but I don't know about that. I've never been to Alaska. But, John Collins Black, his treasure, it's spread across the whole United States. And we know there's 5 treasures, but we don't know where they are. And one of them is Appalachian Trail.
Right.
And that's way bigger than my treasure hunt. That's a much larger area. That's from Georgia to Maine.
But for people that live in your 9 states, I mean, I think that's awesome to have a treasure hunt in your area. I mean, I hope one's here in Nevada, another one's here in Nevada someday.
Yeah. So the ones in I think if you live reasonably close to the Northeast, it's fun. But the whole time I've said, if you read K-Pro probably read my book by now. I said that you're not doing my treasure hunt to get wealthy. I'm not getting wealthy. And it was for fun. There was never ever you're going to be like this isn't Powerball here. Now I think if you found Justin's or John Collins Black, the big treasure, I think that would be I think that would be something. But I don't know about the smaller treasures yet. But anyway, my treasure, the big treasure that on the back of the Lady Liberty book, that's the grand prize, and that should have been
out there.
that should have been evident. And when I said there was 9 states, Forrest had 9 clues, right? I said 9. I said 9 states, right? And so, like, I thought it would be very clear to people. Like, a lot of people knew right away it was multiple states. I got many emails. It's in all 9 states. Like, a lot of people knew, like, the very instant they got the book.
So are you saying there's 9 things to find, maybe 1 per state? Is that what you're maybe saying without saying it?
No, I'm saying all 9 states are in play. And what does that tell you? Like, in Lady Liberty's treasure hunt, what does it tell you? How can all 9 states be in play, Capo? You've got a PhD. How can all 9 states be in play? What's the math? Do the math, right?
So I said, there's 9 things to find. That's how I take it.
All right. So if somebody says all 9 states are in play, the minimum number is 9. Is that correct?
Wow. And that's breaking news, everybody. Yeah, I think so.
Right. So so anyone who says, like, I'm just like taxed at it, like.
So I think
I'm just going to get personal for a second, and this is important, and it might upset me, but I'm just going to say it. My wife had stage 3 cancer. I was very upset. I was dealing with it. She edited out a big chunk of that from the book, so you don't know about that. So here I am, like, looking back in time, and I'm sad, and I tried to do something positive instead of something negative. Like, that's not positive, right? So I do a treasure hunt, and I don't know that John Collins Black is doing one. I don't know that Justin Posey's doing one.
I had no idea when you.
So I had no idea. So when I did my treasure hunt, I thought it would give all of you something positive after Forrest thing. I didn't like the way Jack's ended. And what happened is, when the one treasure was found at the Forrest, everyone flipped a nutty. And even people very, very close to Forrest flipped a total nutty. And when I looked at that, I said, well, if I had more treasures, then they won't flip a nutty. And maybe, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean that in a good way. So then I thought about John Collins Black. I think came up with the same thing, except he spread his out over the whole United States, what I think is particularly hard. But if you don't have the money to travel, but maybe more people from the different regions like he's planning will do it. I'm not certain of it, but I think we both were affected by the end of Forrest Fenn's treasure. So,
and I think that's maybe why there's some people that are a little hesitant, because they don't know you like we know you. We know how genuine you are. But saying there's $100,000, is that $100,000 grand prize? Because people are traveling, people are excited, but they kind of want to set their expectations of, they're inspired, they're getting out there, but they just want to kind of mesh up the expectations to the reality.
So if I was going to say, just in all honesty, I haven't found anyone who's traveled. So they've all been closed. Anyone who's treasure hunt, maybe they're in New York. So no one has traveled to come to my treasure hunt. So if we're going to be realistic, we have to be realistic.
Well, I think there's people that don't.
You guys have like 8,000 people that subscribe to your site or something. That's great. And when you first started Cowlazars, I was one of the few people when you had the copy every single time.
I remember.
So I've been here with you for a long time. So the real numbers are, I sold mostly ebooks. I get like $4 an ebook. I spent $2,000 to create the ebooks to help other people. So if I, out of the goodness of my heart, spend more than $150,000 to, I know for a fact, because I got losses 2 years in a row that I have to report to the IRS, and next year they're going to make me a hobby, so I can't declare any losses next year. You can't have 3 years of losses in a 5-year period. So I'm making absolutely zero. People that don't even buy an ebook, and they don't buy a paperback, they don't buy a hardcover, they're throwing rocks, and they didn't even read the book. Like it's right in the book. Like there's even math somewhere in the book. I'm not going to tell you where, that tells you exactly how many treasures there are. But you have
Well,
to
there
do
you go.
math.
So Mike's saying it's in the book. If you read the book, you would have known, is what Michael's saying. Everybody can make their own decision on that. But that's what I was wondering.
I think if you read the book twice,
yeah,
that you would have figured it out. But the problem is, I think most people, and I don't blame them. I got John Collins Black's book too. Like
Yeah.
Justin's got the great book. Like those are
Right.
bigger, better treasure hunts than mine. I'm just I'm the little fish.
Well, some
that go
people
back-
like
I'm
the,
little fish
some
that go
people like
back.
them. Some of the people like that level of hunt because the bigger hunts get a little crazy, but you get the right to say you have to buy it to understand what the prize is. But I can see how some people, because of some of these hunts, are a little skeptical and saying, but I have to buy something to know what I'm buying. And they just are a little hesitant. And I understand both sides of it, whether they're traveling or not, et cetera. Is it a $5,000 hunt or a $100,000 hunt? And the answer is, what I'm hearing is, you have to buy the book to know that, and you're willing to not maybe sell as many books
Just
to
be
get
clear,
the
I
true
said
inquiry.
no one's getting wealthy. It's for fun. And my real goal was for children. The Lady Liberty's treasure hunt is for age 13 through 90. A 90-year-old man in Bedford told me he's going to do it. So no, he did. He told me he's doing it. He bought a book, like right from me. I handed him a book. He bought it. I signed it. So a 90-year-old man is doing my treasure hunt. But my treasure hunts are educational.
right.
It's about America. It's not about Mike O'Connell. The only reason I put all that memoir stuff in there is to make it harder so that you wouldn't just like go a straight line in history right to my treasure. Like
Right.
that'd be easy. Like you could find it in 5 minutes. And obviously my treasure is probably a lot easier to find than the other treasure since somebody already found one and it's only been spring for a month. So like somebody already found one. How do I know there's not others being found? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then every time they find one, are people going to be like, "Oh, it's not fair to me"? Like
I understand K-Pro's point, but I look at it as a positive thing. So for me, just maybe because I'm not there looking, it's not, we're all the way across the country. But what I hear you saying, Michael, is when the Forest Fen treasure was found, everybody was crestfallen. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's over." You've hid more than one, so that way, when one is found, people can keep looking. It's still going on, and there's a grand prize out there.
I bought all that Forest Fen treasure.
Yeah.
And I think there's Forest Fen treasure in all my treasures. So I spread his spirit out deliberately. And
I kind of get it.
I think John Collins Black did the same thing. I know Justin did the same thing. Like we all put a little piece of forest. So forest is in the U.S. Northeast. Forest is maybe in Alaska. He's out west. He's on the 5 corners of the country. I don't know how many John put in his treasures, but I know I bought 7 Forest Fen coins. And it was a lot of money, and I'm not like rolling in gold. They're a lot richer than me. Like maybe if I had as much money as John or as much as Justin, maybe I could have done like a giant box and just had one box, but then maybe the treasure would already be over and most of you didn't even buy a book. So I like, what if he just grabbed the whole treasure? The games would have been over, right? So he got truthfully, he got the bell that was dedicated to Eric Sloan.
Right.
And that was my dedication to Forest Fen. It's in the book. Mm-hmm. He read it. He's been multiple places. He keeps emailing me. I give him no answers back because he's doing his thing, this treasure hunt. He doesn't want to share with you because he's rocking it. And he must be reasonably close. He's, you know what I mean? He's in New England or in New York or he's somewhere close. And if you're in Las Vegas, it's not like you have a fair shot. But like I didn't have the same shot Cynthia had when she was going for Forest Fen's treasure. She went hundreds of times. She was retired and she lived right there in Nevada. New Mexico. Yeah. And here I am in Massachusetts. Like I couldn't really go. Like, and that's just part of treasure hunting. You gotta treasure hunting isn't the real world. It's recreation. It's like going mountain back riding. It's like going to a playground. That's why you're the Cowlazars amusement park. Like it's the ride. It's the fun of it. Like I think it's more fun searching for my treasure than finding it. I'm sure the finder, there was a couple looking for it. They weren't alone. There was more than one person, and there was at least 2 people. They found the treasure.
Two questions.
Yeah.
To be clear, there is a grand prize, though. There is. You may have hit multiple things, but there's one that's more treasure than the others, which you consider the grand prize.
Yeah, the back of the book, that's the grand prize. That big one,
Okay.
it's like a Forrest Fenn chest.
Chest.
And
Okay, so that is out
so's
there.
the children's chest. It's like
Got
those are like, and they're loaded with great, cool stuff. But the other stuff, I consider them consolation prize. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? You didn't win the beauty contest, but you're on the right track.
Well, you found treasure. I mean, it's not the grand prize, but you did find treasure. So
What if that one guy goes and finds more and more and more,
Right.
and
Well, I
everybody else is chasing what I think are the harder treasures? I think they're harder. I don't know.
I think more people are going to buy your book now that they realize that it's possible there's one in each state, because now you got people in different states that are like, there could be one by me.
But it was always that chance. But I didn't want to, like, from the very beginning. It was always that chance, because you were asking me,
Yeah.
oh, there's one treasure, there's one. You said little box. You said the little box.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to answer you, because that's not a little box. So,
Right.
And when you told me Justin Posey's treasure was the biggest, I was confused, because my treasure weighs more than 60 pounds. So I was confused, because my treasure's heavier than his treasure. So, but I didn't know how to respond. And now when I saw his treasure, Justin Posey's treasure is more valuable than my treasure. Justin Posey's a very good man. John Collins Black, his treasure, as it's shown in his book, is more valuable than my treasure. So I'm being very plain. Like, if you want wealth and glory, definitely go that way. Like, I'm okay with that. If you want to learn American history and have fun with children, my treasure hunts incorporate children. Mine, it's a family-centered activity. If you're one of these people that isn't into children, that's okay. You can still you can read both books, and you can still do Liberty Treasure Hunt, but mine's patriotic. My books are different and if people haven't noticed that, they didn't read the book. One guy called me Captain America, and I corrected him. I said, no, I'm Captain Irish America. See the Irish?
Right.
Irish. I'm Captain Irish America. My mother was born in Ireland. So I'm trying to be clear, but it's upsetting when people throw grenades when you're trying to, like, a lot of people are charitable. I think I'm pretty good. My wife's pretty good. I've done a lot of good things my whole life. But doing this treasure hunt, it's like taking the $10,000 donation you were going to give to, some cause, and doing it 15 years. That's $150,000, right? Well, if I do it all at once,
Right.
it's a giant charity. It costs more than $153,000. Like, I got to pay a finder's reward to this person. I have to work for that money. That's more than a full day's pay for me. That they won it, I'm sending them a finder's reward. So that's why they notified me. They're getting a reward. So on top of a treasure that they said it's 5,000, but they're getting a finder's reward. And like, I don't know that it's 5,000. I really didn't. I had so much treasure.
Yeah.
No, picture a family room with treasure. I had so much treasure, and it was so much to move and store. And like, I was afraid somebody break in my house and steal over 100,000 in treasure. Like, I don't want to go away. So I put all that treasure into the treasures. I did the 2 big boxes first, the ones on the back of the books, because those were the most important. So but I sprinkled the love on the other, and then I put them out there, and most people why don't you take a picture of all that? It's too confusing.
So JCB hunters are going to buy the book because they're going to New York anyway. So they said, I gave them the website, but they asked, where would you prefer them to buy a book? Is your website?
I think they should. Just being clear. I discounted my books on my website, because on my website they're way cheaper. Like, I still see people on eBay selling my books for $200 each, and $124, $164. That's crazy. Don't buy it on eBay. The other thing is, on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, they charge at least $30 more than my website, because I discounted it. So I made sure that, I'm trying to be generous with the books, and I'm just going to be honest and personal. I saw an older woman walking today, and she lost her husband, and she looks sadder than sad, like this woman. And I kind of know her from seeing her around town. And she looks so sad. And she said, I saw the article about you in the newspaper about your books. I want to buy your books.
Hmm.
And I said, but you're never going to go treasure hunting. No, I don't care. I want to buy them. I said, no, I'm giving them to you. I signed the 2 books and gave her 2 books. Like, that's the type of guy I am. I'm not the type of guy that's looking for your money. Ask K-Pro. I wasn't looking for the money when I sent them books. So if somebody's like he's just trying to sell books, yeah, I would love you to learn all the American history. I would love you to take your children treasure hunting, but I'm not after your money. I make my own money. I work my tail off for it. When I left my parents' house, I left with the T-shirt on my back. That's what I left with, the shirt on my back. Everything I have, I earned, my wife earned. We worked hard for it. I got 4 children. One's in college. I'm not scamming anybody. I spent 40 years as a police officer. You think I scam people? I can't stand scammers. Every day I'm on Facebook. Every day people try to scam me. Every single day I let them try to scam me. Then I report them to Facebook. Every single day I get scammed because I have to be on Facebook because I'm running a treasure hunt. I haven't even sold 150 books. I haven't had support from the community because you're distracted by bigger, better hunts.
Right.
That's cool. That's cool.
But now, Mike, I think the people that live in the 9 states are going to take more interest. So we did get a super chat from Chad Bird. He said, treasure's treasure. Thanks for making a hunt. Anything near American Stonehenge. I don't know where American Stonehenge is, but people are asking, what are the 9 states? Can you give them the 9 states, Mike? People now are going to order the book.
The states are all of New England, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Okay. So
all of New England, right? So does everybody know where New England is?
Yes.
The U.S. Northeast. So all of New England.
That includes Vermont, right?
Yep. So New England is Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. Then there's New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. It's 9 states. So like the New England Patriots, that whole New England, right? So and I'm just going to say honestly, it's a beautiful place. Like the 250th, which I was trying to get you all to come to, that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you April 19th to be at Lexington. There were 200,000 people there. They weren't treasure hunters, but there were 200,000 people there. I wanted you all to see the redcoats shooting at people and the Minutemen firing back and the parades and the music and the fife and the drums. And like, it's beautiful. And it's not just Massachusetts.
Right.
It keeps going. The Revolutionary War was 1775 to 1784. That means 2025 to 2034 now, 250th. It's not just Massachusetts. It's the whole East Coast of the United States. Now, I feel bad for you, the rest of the country. That really wasn't your history, but it started here. We were the colonies. Like, so it started here on the East Coast. So, and I know you have great history out there, and I learned a lot of it when I did forest treasure hunt, and that was fun. But did I think I'd get the treasure? I wanted to get the treasure. I just knew I'd have fun, and I did have fun. And I'm still glad I did it, even though I lost. Jack won, I lost. So we've got one winner for my treasure hunt. He got a consolation treasure. It's not the biggest treasure. It's not the best treasure in my treasure hunt, but he did great. I give him credit. He figured out the clues. He saw what I wrote about Forrest Fenn. He knew I was close to him. He saw what I wrote about Eric Sloan. I said I have multiple of his art prints in my house. I do. They're signed by Eric Sloan. I have his books signed. I went down there. I went to Eric Sloan's grave. I was there. I made references. There's hints in the book. He saw all that. Him and his wife, I guess it is, went down there.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
They took the time. I don't know how long they searched. I don't know how many days. I don't know. But that person seems to be everywhere. And I think they live in New England. So
tied along with that, Mike. So they went out looking. They found some clues in the book. They went out looking. 3D Bronze, who does his own treasure hunts, has got a good question. Is there a way for someone to know that the solve they're working on is for the grand prize, or will they not know it's the grand prize until they actually find it?
So the reason they won't know is because Mr. Patriot, Mr. Captain Irish America or Captain America wanted all of you to learn the U.S. history. Now, some of you probably already know it really well, but the rest of you don't know it at all. So I wanted you to learn the history. So I made Lady Liberty's treasure hunt basically a tour guide. So,
right.
and so was Riley's treasure chase. It's a tour. They're both tour guides. So you go to the places I wanted you to go. You see what I saw. And I hope you have fun with your family and friends. I can't guarantee you'll find a treasure. You might. That one guy did. And I hope whoever searches for Justin's treasure, somebody eventually finds that too. But say 50,000 people look for his treasure. Only one of them is going to get it, right? Only one.
Right.
And or if they're a couple too, because they're together, right? So like.
But Mike, I think the question 3D's asking is when you're trying to solve the things in your book, will you know which ones are for the back or constellation prizes and which puzzles are for the main prize, or do you gotta have to when you go out there you don't know which one, or are they delineated? Are they organized in some way?
No. So I didn't want to make it easy for you to just like run to a treasure. So the treasures, when I hid them, I just hid them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big job. It wasn't a little job. I hid those treasures. Like John Collins Black, his was a big job. Unless Justin went to Alaska, his may not have been that hard to do. Right? Like, so, because that's only one treasure. Like Forrest, his wasn't hard to do. He was already out there for the fashion show and he crossed the river, which he crossed many times in his life. He knew where he's going. His was really easy to do. The poem was tricky and the book was a little tricky, but I don't think his treasure was that hard to do. Like I could have done his easy at my age. I'm only 60. But I think you have to like go with your gut and try to read the book and realize you're dealing with a pirate. Like I said on the front, a pirate's greedy. He wants to keep his treasure. It's in the book. The pirate wants to keep his treasure. You have to outsmart the pirate. That's why the pirate's on the book. And that pirate cost me like $350 to buy it. I got it downstairs to put him on the cover of the book. Like that pirate was intentional. Pirates are sneaky. They're crafty. They're clever. They're not just going to hand you their gold. Like normally you're going to get in a sword fight with the pirate for his treasure. So
well, I think now, Mike, now that we know what's going on, I think a lot of people will probably wanted to know before they bought the book, but that's all right. The book's only been out, what, 4 months or so, 3 months?
My thing on it was, I think some of the treasures are pretty easy to find. Like, I'm not surprised they're found. I was expecting this. I'm not surprised somebody found a treasure. What I didn't expect was the other two treasure hunts and no one doing my treasure hunt.
Right.
So I'm a little surprised I sold 150 books. And the reason I find that surprising is I bought 200 books myself, 200 of my own book. So like, if I can buy 200, I can't even sell 150. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know.
Well, Mike and I were just.
Know if the ebook was a good idea. I think parts of me wants to delete the ebook. I don't think the financially needy people are getting the ebooks. I think other people are getting into ebooks, and they're just like sort of shortcutting the system just to save a few bucks. But I
see on your website, Mike, that you've got a couple news. You've done some news articles. So everybody, Lady Liberty's treasurehunt.com, and you can see where you can order it. You can see the bio, but you see in the media, he's got all the different links to all the different media is done. He's also got where it's locally, where the book's locally available in Boston. And then he has a link to Justin's Beyond the Map's Edge treasure hunt, which is nice too.
Yeah, Justin's good. I don't really know John Collins personally. I actually emailed him to try to sync together, and I think he's got staff. They didn't even respond to my email. I gave them my treasures and everything. I don't know how those guys function. So I would have posted them, but they're not they're not really talking to me. I don't know why, but I think his treasure's really nice. I like his book. And Justin's just amazing. I was gonna put Justin. I did put him in my book. He's in one of my books, Justin. I was gonna put a picture of him, a picture of him with Tucker the dog. But Justin said he thought that was under some agreement with when he was doing the Netflix or something. So I didn't put it in the book, but I was going to put a picture of Justin in the book. But I'm not trying to be in any way negative. I just want you to have fun.
All right. Well, I think that sums it up. I think we have the answer now, K-Pro. I know some people are disappointed they didn't know about it at first, but what do you think?
Well, I mean, can I just be clear? Like, if they're disappointed, how many of them read the book? And if it's a big issue, if you got the book and you don't want it, you know what? Just mail it back to me. I'll buy the book because, as long as you didn't damage the book, because like, I'm not going to keep like crying over spilt milk. Like if somebody bought a real book and a real hardcover, a real paperback, and they got some issue with my treasure hunt, which was done very kindly, very nobly, very generous from my heart. If they got some issue with it, I think they can mail it back to me and I'll send them a check because I'm not gonna play the pity game. I'm not gonna play the sorrow game. I know I did a good thing. If others can't see it, that's okay. That people have the right to their opinions. But
one thing we know from these treasure hunts, Mike, is people are going to complain. That's just whether it's justified or not. People are going to complain. That's just how it works. When you
one lady was giving it to me pretty bad inside your Discord, and a couple of them were like defaming my character. And you know what? My soul's clean. I'm a 4th degree Knight of Columbus. I'll stand before God Himself, and I don't know that any other you want to stand in the room with me when I'm doing that. Like I'm a police officer. I put my life in jeopardy to save other people. I've run into burning buildings. Like I've arrested multiple felons. People have done armed robberies and everything. I'm not on the same plane with the rest of you. I'm a knight.
Well, but I think, and to be fair, I think this is the hard part. Is I think this was a love project that you put your heart and soul into, but on the hunter side, they feel like they've bought a product and they wanted certain expectations of kind of like buying a jacket from Walmart or a T-shirt. There's certain expectations of the product. And I think you see it as your love project. So kind of roll with it and trust you because I think you're trustable, but I know you. So I can see how as our community evolves into all these different hunts into more of a model of, there is a charge, a very small charge in comparison to what people get. But once that expectation set, Mike and he has a business that he's doing. And I don't think the marketing was the way that, I have an undergrad in marketing, so that's where marketing becomes so key. And we had so many people at our conference saying, I thought I would sell so much more, but without marketing, I sold 50, I sold 100. And you have Justin with Netflix, you have John with the huge PR media firm behind him. And it's an evolving community, and it's hard when expectations from both sides are not met.
I think the way they ran theirs is good, but you got to remember, I wrote mine first. So it's not even fair to compare me to them because I wrote mine first. And
you were first.
So I did. I was at least a week ahead of them, at least. So, and I was before Justin. Justin could have had my book. I don't know if he has my book. But my heart was in the right place. If somebody really bought a book, not the ones that are throwing rocks that never bought a book, because there seem like there's a lot of people throwing rocks and they don't know it, but my website, I can see the traffic. I know every single location that's ever been on my books on my websites. So they didn't buy a book from me because I can see who's on my website.
Right.
So I don't know about your sites, but I can see every single person. So like I can kind of tell if you bought books from me. Ingram Sparks reports to me how many book sales. So I don't know. I just think they're being a little too hard, a little too critical. Maybe they should reflect before they have a knee jerk about what one person writes something in Discord and then 3 more people are writing something. I don't know if it's helpful, really.
For me, more treasures better. More locations is better. Again, I'm not in the area. I'm not looking for it because it's all the way across the country. But for me, more is better. Now we can have possibly 9 winners and not.
Well, the idea was for you to tour America. It wasn't
right
for you to be rich. It's a history book.
Treasure hunt secondary, right?
The treasure hunt is part of it to get you leave the house and go learn the history. But I didn't
But
get
Michael,
it.
I don't think people understand you until that's why I wanted you so much to come on the show.
Right.
Written word gets so far. You can tell your sincerity by you. When you talk, you can tell that you are a sincere, honest person. That's why I think you come in on the show to help clarify. That lets everybody know, right or wrong, this is what you got. If you want to opt in, great, get a book. He's saying if you want to send the book back, send it back. And the way we go. I mean, you can't get better than that,
The
guys.
only problem is the ebook people. I can't take back an ebook.
Right. And you
And-
should.
Yeah.
And,
You
and my
should.
books,
should.
my books are non-refundable, but
Right.
I got so much character. I'll give you a refund. I'll give
Yeah,
that book.
yeah,
I'll give
we
that book
appreciate
to another. I'll give that book to another old lady walking up the street because that's the guy I am.
Yeah.
So who else is doing that? I don't know.
I'm telling you, Mike, now that it's in these 9 states, I think you're going to get more people. That's just my opinion. It's just if I lived in one of these states and I'm like, oh, it's not just, Massachusetts. I can now go to one of these. It might be in the state where I live. I'm going to.
I got one. How do you say that? What was that state?
How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it, Mike?
No,
Massachusetts.
listen, treasure hunters. I love you all. I love America. I want the best for everybody's family.
Yeah.
I want America to be strong. I don't want it to be divided. I don't want Republicans against Democrats, Democrats against Republicans. I want all the patriotic stuff. That's why I wrote the books. It's to unite us, not to divide us. So when people quarrel in Discord about what appears to be stupid stuff, when your wife has stage 3 cancer, it really does feel stupid. Let's worry about the big things in life that really matter. I want you to go and enjoy yourself in the fresh air, the sunshine, see the autumn colors and the spring colors, and hear the birds sing, and find your way to treasure wherever it is. It doesn't have to be me. Go for Justin's treasure. Go for John Collins Black's treasure. But just get outside and exercise. Enjoy the fresh air, and I think you're going to have fun. I think my treasures are designed to be fun, and that guy from Connecticut, he's ecstatically happy. So apparently it's fun. So I hope the rest of you have some fun.
Awesome. Uh-oh. Mike jumped on the phone.
All right. Another super chat from Chad Bird. Thanks, Chad. Very important question. Do you have to pay anything ever to find one of the treasures? Do you have to pay to get in anywhere? That's a common question people ask, Mike.
Well, I didn't pay anything to go at any of the places I went to. So
there you go. So I think the answer.
So I mean, if you're driving a car and you're going to go through a toll,
Hold this right like that.
I don't really check because I got one of them toll things, but there's tolls everywhere. So
Yeah,
you're probably going to get hit with the toll.
Right.
So, but I didn't. No one ever charged me anything. So
Okay.
So unless I missed something, but I didn't pay any fees to anywhere I went into.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much sums it up. Michael, you're a very honest person. Thank you for doing this treasure hunt. Thank you for paying it forward.
Anytime. Are there any more questions from the room for any of the anybody that was doubting Thomas? It's okay.
I don't think so. A lot of people are saying they're going to look into buying it now, which is what I think will happen now that the cat's out of the bag, so to speak, and the pirate's given up a little secret, maybe.
Well, the pirate, I was always planning to give it up, but I wanted somebody to find the treasure. Like it's a journey of discovery. Like I want you to keep discovering and keep going. Oh my God, somebody else got one. Somebody else got what do you get? Like it's like a Cracker Jack when you get the toy at the bottom. Like not everybody gets the Red Sox ticket, right? So and to be honest, I really did have that much treasure in front of me that I wasn't like counting what was what. That's how much I'm talking a pile of treasure. Like I'm like it was a lot of work.
You said 9 Forest Fen coins, right? Gold.
I purchased 7 Forest Fen coins.
7? Okay.
Yeah, but there's other Forest Fen treasures.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
well, looks like K-Pro's about to get on a plane. Is that right?
Okay, K-Pro. See you later. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you, Treasure Hunt World. Be patient, be kind, be loving, and God bless America, and God bless all of you.
All right. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. There it is. Michael O'Connell. He's a good guy, everybody. Cop, like he was saying, he just did this from his heart. Maybe he should have disclosed it before everybody bought the book, but he didn't. He did it the way he did it, and we all make our own decision. In my opinion, what he just said: 9 states, 9 treasures. That's how I. What about you, Kayla?
Well, I only have a PhD. I know he meant it nicely. Like, oh my god.
Well, the other thing is you have to read the entire book. I think he's saying you got to read the entire book. There's clues there.
Right.
Now, I don't know, but I will tell you this. Way back in December when we had him on the show and he first told us about he's doing this treasure hunt with 2 treasures, I said, well, wait a minute. I even said it just from there was something that came up and I said, wait, are you saying there's 2 treasures? And he said, because then we didn't really realize there were 2 books, 2 treasure hunts. And his answer was, wait till you'll read it. You'll love it. So even then he was saying, you've got to read it and figure it out that there's more than just the one grand prize.
Yeah. But I do have to say, and you and I had this debate on other things. People are seeing this as a business. Even though it's almost like a nonprofit, just love passion to him. This is where people are spending their money. I know people gave us a really hard time on the invitation, or if we don't have our Discord just right or whatever. And I understand the marketing model. If you don't roll something out in a certain way, he was before John or Justin, and they've sold hundreds of thousands of books. I mean, in my opinion, marketing is a huge piece to it. Anyway, but let's move on to other things.
Right. So I know I had titled this the JCB, that we were going to talk about the new JCB interview, but I don't think we have time. Do we, K-Pro? Should we save it till Thursday or should we go through it real quick?
Oh, no, I'm going over my boots on the ground stuff Thursday. I just got a glass of wine because my plane takes off in 20 minutes, and that will make me go to sleep on the plane. So fire away, whatever you want to say about JCB. Oh, no, wait, and Friday, hit the breaking news button.
I thought you were saying you were getting on the plane right now. Okay.
No, I got one of these. The Hearst. Hearst are first. We love the Hearst. Netflix Hearst. Blow Up Kings. Those guys. They're coming on our show on Friday. They wanted to come on.
Breaking
news. People are like, are they the ones that blew up the boulder? Yes, those guys. They want to kind of tell their side of the story, and we're going to let them. So they're coming on Friday. Whether we should or should not have an opinion, I do. I'm bringing them on Friday.
Yeah, and that's fine. Okay, it'll be fun to hear their perspective on things. So let's go ahead and do it then. I won't change the title. So JCB recently posted that he's over in Japan. You guys watch our show last week. We showed his, I think it was an Instagram or a Twitter X post. But there is a new article that came out at the dailymail.co.uk, and it's got some info in it. So let's go through it together for you JCB hunters out there. And I know Sam was saying the JCB hunters on TikTok should come on the show. Anybody who wants to come on the show, email us. Email me, email KPro, and we can probably set that up. Okay, this is the new article, everybody. Tycoon reveals tantalizing secrets to his treasure hunt that's seen $2 million in gold and jewels hidden across the U.S. This is from April 26th, so it's just 2 days old, okay? Published April 26th, updated just a couple hours later. So in 2016, John Collins Black set off for a 5-week solo trip in the Rocky Mountains in search of the $3 million fortune buried by the eccentric Vietnam veteran turned millionaire Forrest Fenn. That's kind of what Michael was saying. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to take 5 weeks off just to go search for whatever treasure hunt you're looking for, K-Pro?
Yeah, I'm going to. So yeah, that is going to be nice.
Well, I wish I could. I'd get too frustrated though. I'd end up killing somebody. Okay. Fenn's treasure hunt was sparked 6 years earlier. We know this part. I'm going to kind of skip through. I want to get to the new stuff, or maybe there's some breadcrumbs here.
Get to it, mister.
Okay. Fenn's hunt came to an end in 2020. Oh, and just as an aside, so people know, in the Netflix doc, you hear somebody talking about their solve in a Zoom that they showed. That was Michael O'Connell. That was his voice in the Netflix doc, and one of the clips they showed of me and you listening to somebody and listening to their solve.
So they just had to have us in Netflix.
Yeah. Collins Black was devastated by the news of the discovery, but out of his disappointment came an idea. Going out in nature and searching for treasure like this was really captivating to me. It was such a cool experience. When COVID happened, we were in lockdown. We had a lot of time to sit and think. And I'm going to put the link to this post right here. You guys can read it yourself. 3D Bronze with a super chat. I think Michael or another creator should buy my bronze chest and hide a 10th treasure. Just lowered the price, practically giving it away. So 3D Bronze has the Forrest Fenn replica on eBay. Just put in Forrest Fenn treasure chest. I'm sure it'll pop right up. Somebody should buy that 3D Bronze. You're right. Okay. Okay, we know about this. They show some of the items. There he is. We know the picture. Okay. Collins Black, a lifelong fantasy enthusiast, made his fortune selling a self-help website and investing in Bitcoin in the early 2010s, shortly before the cryptocurrency experienced a stratospheric boom. Financing the treasure for his own hunt was not a problem, but he wanted to create an experience that was more personal and accessible than Fenn's single chest quest, kind of what Michael O'Connell was just talking about. So he set to work to try and source a diverse collection of valuable relics that would appeal to hunters of all ages and interests. So to do so, it took him over a year. All right, we know about this. We know about the treasure.
This is a new article, right, Mike?
It's new, but they do a lot of backstory.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, hey, here's something new. He purchased some of Fenn's treasure from Stoof. That's new. It says from, well, maybe they mean.
That's just wrong. Yeah, this article's getting worse and worse. No, he didn't.
One of the most interesting items is the olive jar. I'm the only other person who's opened it and read what's inside. I'm not telling what it says, but there are people who search for the Fenn treasure who are really excited to find that because they want to know what's inside. There's a picture of Forrest and his treasure. In total, Collins Black's bounty is worth between 2 and 3 million. The longer the treasure stays hidden, the more it will appreciate in values. Collins Black.
Or go down.
Yeah, it's true. Collins Black believes it's the largest hunt in U.S. history. Okay.
Except for Justin's. Did he put except for Justin's at the end?
He's divided the treasure into 5 boxes, one containing the lion's share. Where we heard that before, and 4 smaller ones across 5 U.S. states. Okay, we know the clues are in the book. The boxes themselves are puzzles and intricate works. We know that. Okay. All right. So secret in drafting of his grand adventure. Trademarked that last year. He used the term grand adventure, everybody. Collins Black said the location each chest isn't even known by his wife. It's just me.
Wait. He does say at the end of this, there are secret clues throughout this article. So the incorrect Stoof thing, and then the grand adventure. Mike knows where it is. It's in Tahoe. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you got to look at our video on Stoof. Okay. It's just me. I didn't want anyone else to carry the burden of knowing, because I learned from the Forrest Fenn treasure that there would be a spectrum of people that get a little excited and some that maybe get a little crazy. So I didn't want my wife or any of my friends to be privy to anything. She was disappointed, but it was better. It was just me. There's a picture of the family. I don't think I've seen his wife before other than their wedding video, but okay. Olive jar. Okay, we're getting there. Hang on. Some of the cool items. When deciding where to hide the boxes, Collins Black began by scouring Google Maps and learning about the histories of prospective burial spots and studied their topographies. That could be a subtle hint right there. Studied their topographies. He then hiked.
Maybe Justin's Beast is a hint for JCB's poem or JCB's book. That's it. Breaking news. Hit the button.
He then hiked around 100 miles on foot all around the country before deciding where to leave them. Everything a hunter needs to find the boxes is buried within the pages of his book, he said. Collins Black shared, you don't need to be a genius to crack his ciphers, to use the term ciphers, adding that some are more difficult than others. Crucially, one thing he wanted to improve upon the Fenn search was safety, right? We know that. All right, there's the Bitcoin. All right, hang on. All the boxes can be found within 3 miles of a public road.
Wait, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
The least bad thing that happened, Forrest focused on safety so much. I mean, Forrest didn't put it on legal land. Forrest had a family making him call it off. Forrest had 100 things wrong with this hunt. I think he did safety right. That's in my opinion. So for him to say, I'm improving upon the thing that Forrest did worse, I think worse would be if you have to grid search. Oh, that's right. Both hunts have to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little cynical today.
Maybe. Chad Bird, their burial.
Put it under snow on purpose and then launch the hunt in the middle of winter to make people tempted to have safety issues. That wouldn't be probably ideal.
The part you're going to like is coming up, K-Pro. I think we have to watch this interview, which is only a minute long. I think this is where it is, but I'll play that in a minute.
Dear Lord. Okay.
When Forrest created his hunt, he did it in private. I don't think he realized how big it was going to get. All the boxes can be found within 3 miles of a public road. None of the chests are buried. None of them are buried, and all are located on public land. Is that news? I don't know if that's new news or not. All are located on public land. Okay. So in my hunt, you don't need to go into water. He's talking about you had to cross
Right.
them. They're not in dangerous places. You don't need to do anything dangerous to find them. You don't need to search for them in the cold. There might be some physical exercise.
But they might be in the cold and you can't find them for 6 months out of the year. But just what did he say? If it doesn't become accessible for a few years, just sit tight and be patient.
That being
Go ahead.
said, that being said, with the amount of money on the line, Collins Black conceded there's only so much he could do to protect the most excitable treasure hunters from themselves. He said he's already learned of one person 2 weeks after the launch of his book who jumped into a cold lake to swim to a nearby island and had to be rescued by another searcher. At the end of the day, people get excited, so I knew in making this treasure hunt, there was nothing I could do to protect everyone from their own excitement.
So I launched it in winter and put it in snow. Go treasure hunters. Is that the end of that sentence on the article?
No. Nearing a breakthrough. This is the important part. Almost 6 months into the hunt, Collins Black said the reaction so far has been incredible. Searchers have flocked in their thousands to Discord servers, Reddit pages, and Facebook groups to share clues, document their searches, and debate the meaning of Collins Black's coded messages. He has been monitoring the chatter and said it's incredible to watch the code cracking unfold in real time. The first printing run of books sold out within days, and sales figures have now exceeded the six-figure mark. So sales figures means dollars. He's exceeded the $100,000 mark. Okay. As far as how long he expects the search to last, Collins Black said he's unsure, though he hopes all 5 boxes are found within his lifetime. Ouch. He declined to offer any explicit clues, although subtle hints may be found within his quotes in this story. Here it is. Promisingly, he believes that one of the boxes is already close to being discovered and could even be found by the end of the year.
Yep.
Now, of course, that's the past and future box, right, K-Pro?
Well, isn't there another? Well, this was a hotly debated topic amongst searchers in the last few days. He said either in this article or another one, because people had reached a consensus before it was so dangerous, because he set it up to have buy my book, and now you have to wait 4 to 6 months to be able to actually go find it unless you want to put yourself in harm's way. And he said during that first month, there was a consensus of where it was. There's only 2 boxes that there was a consensus. Past and Future in Tahoe, and the Appalachian Trail on the trail one. And there was a lot of debate because there was a lot of searchers that had searched one or the other one of which one did that mean. One of those is going to be found as soon as it's safe, and probably before it's safe, I think someone's going to find it. And that'll set the precedence is you have to be unsafe to really get an edge in John Collins' hunt. That's my guess.
So this is the quote, and to me, it does sound like he's talking about the past and future box. After the book came out, there was this initial surge of people trying to get out there and find the treasure before the snow came. And then there were a couple areas people descended upon now that the snow is thawing. It will be interesting to see if people descend on those areas again or if they think the horizons have expanded. But I think at least one of the boxes might be found this year just based on the sheer number of people involved and what I have seen. The treasures are like wine. They age with me. They become more mysterious as the more lure builds around them. I don't want it to take an extensively long amount of time. If it took 5 to 10 years, then I don't have a problem with that. But I think there could be a breakthrough soon.
Yeah. And so again, the only 2, both of them went under snow very quickly. When the AT box had that trail found up in Vermont, it was under snow within a month. Tahoe got a big storm within a month. Vermont has just thawed. So it's like people are just starting right now in the last week or 2, from what I understand. And Tahoe's still under feet and feet of snow. So he's got a few more months of book sales before you can safely get out there and find it. But somebody might, with a metal detector, whether it's legal or not, I think someone's going to bypass it, act less than legal and less than safe. And that is going to be the lessons learned for the first box. That's a guess.
And there you have it, everybody. Michael O'Connell, clarification from the pirate himself. If you live in one of the 9 states, go buy his book and go find a treasure. That's what I say. And John Collins Black with the new interview. He says there's things, subtle hints in his quotes. When he said horizons, I thought that was an odd word to use. Is the word horizons in the book would be my question to everybody. If you have the ebook, do a search. Horizons. Anyway, there it is. All right. You're about to get on a plane, and I guess I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yep, sounds good. Bye,
All
guys.
right, everybody. We will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye.